guys, my name is Megan and today I have my April wrap-up for you. So before I get started with this, I just wanted to make a note. I'm not quite done with my reading list yet. I'm filming this about a week early just because I'm going on vacation. So my reading is not quite finished. I still have plans to read at least one more book before I go on vacation. So the first book that I read in April was Tortall, A Spy's Guide. This was such a good book. This one, I really loved it because it gave a whole bunch of extra information about characters and extra information about the land of Tortall. Because as you guys probably noticed, I've been rereading a lot of my Tamora Pierce books that are set in Tortall, and so this one I gave a 4.5 out of 5 stars. The second book that I read in April was Flame in the Dark. This is the third book in the Soulwood series. I loved this book so much because it just focused a lot on this building relationship between Nell and one of her co-workers, and I love that this is a spin-off series of the Jane Yellowrock series, and I love how this kind of expands on the world that was built from the Jane Yellowrock series. This one goes a lot more in depth with the different types of supernatural creatures other than vampires, so you get to see all of these cool like weird creatures and vampires and other creatures as well. This one is also very political for one of these types of books. This one got a solid 4 out of 5 stars. The next book that I read in April was The Language of Thorns. I loved this book to pieces. So this is a bunch of fairy tales that would have been told to the characters in the Grishaverse. All of them are very creepy and dark and twisty, and I loved each and every one of them. This book got a solid 5 out of 5 stars, and I would highly recommend this if you're a fan of the Grishaverse or even just Six of Crows. This is so worth it, and it's just beautifully written, and there's all sorts of really beautiful drawings on the edges of the pages, and they get progressively more and more until the end of each story when there's a full image. So like this. I mean, this book is just absolutely beautiful, and it's illustrated and it's just gorgeous. The next book that I read this month was It Devours. So this is the second Welcome to Night Vale novel. This one followed Nilanjana, who is one of the scientists in Night Vale, studying Night Vale because it is the most scientifically interesting community in the United States. It also follows Daryl, who is a member of the Joyous Congregation of the Smiling God. So this kind of follows them on their adventure through the eyes of religion as well as through science, and this kind of like weird plot to kind of destroy Night Vale with a giant centipede, which if you know Night Vale, that's not really that unusual, but it also deals with these two finding love and comfort in each other in times of hardship, and maybe not quite knowing how to deal with a relationship and watching a relationship crumble. But this book was really beautifully written and creepy and just amazing and whimsical, like all Night Vale podcasts and the other Night Vale books are. This book is just really creepy and beautiful at the same time. This got a 4 out of 5 stars for me. So the book I'm currently reading as of the filming of this video is The Queen's Rising. I've got about 100 pages left or so. I really love this book. It's so like beautifully written, and the characters are really like well developed, and I love the camaraderie that develops in this. I also really love the relationships between the characters, and this cover is to die for. I believe this was the Bookish Box pick for last month. So I'm really loving this so far, and I love like the magic system and like this kind of cool like school vibe that's going on through it. There's also a really beautiful like depiction of the land and magic in this. The last book that I'm planning to read in April before I go on vacation is Tortall, and this is a collection of Tortall and short stories, or Tortall and Other Lands. These are all a bunch of short stories that Tamora Pierce has written both in Tortall and in other lands, like the title says. I have read this before. I did like all of the short stories in it. I may not read all of them, just kind of depends, but this is the last book that I plan to read before I go on vacation. Alright, so that was everything that I read in April, and I'm planning to finish reading in April before I go on vacation. What did you guys read this month? What was your favorite book? I'd have to say my favorite book from this month was definitely The Language of Thorns. And if you guys haven't already, go ahead and hit the subscribe button down below. You can also hit the notification button to get notifications when I post a new video. And if you liked this video, don't forget to hit the like button. And if you'd like to follow me on social media, check out the links down below. Alrighty, bye guys!